What's going on, everybody? We are live on time, actually, for what feels like the first time in a while. No one needs to know that, but we did it. We did it on time. What's up, everybody? Welcome to week 16. Welcome to semifinal fantasy playoffs, maybe quarterfinals for some of y'all that are playing into week 18. Don't really know what I think about that, but hope everyone's doing well. Merry Christmas to all of you. Shannon, I hope you're still watching and hanging around. Merry Christmas to you. Trying to beat my husband in the playoffs, and that's going to be fun. That's a lot of fun. PPR this week. Are we going Brenton Strange? Or are we going David Njoku? Very interesting question, because more times than not, I would say David Njoku, but because we are dealing with a Dorian Thompson-Robinson issue here in Cleveland, I'm going to say Brenton Strange. There is just not enough there for me to trust Njoku this late into the season. Trevor, let's go. What's going on, my guy? Pick 2 for a flex and wide receiver 2 between Terry, DK, and Bucky Irving. I'm leaning towards Bucky and McLaurin. Thanks for all the help. You bet, of course. And I would agree with that. DK in Minnesota against Minnesota seems like a friendly matchup. Weather in Seattle, it's going to be raining all day in Seattle, as far from what I remember. So I'm not trusting it a whole lot. It's not been working. I know that Ryan Grubb came out and said himself, like, we need to get him some touches, which I agree with, but I don't think it's going to be this game. So I would definitely go wide receiver 2 is Terry and your flex. The thing with Terry too is that it's Philly. So it's going to be, you're going to choose between what's, how do I phrase this? You're going to choose between what is the least, Terry's the play. I'll just keep it at that. Terry is the play. And then Bucky is going to be your flex. Dylan, Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, or Jerome Ford, and Devontae Smith, or Garrett Wilson. Personally, I would say it's Garrett Wilson over Devontae Smith. But I think you can also, I don't think you can go wrong between Devontae Smith, Garrett Wilson. My preference is Garrett Wilson, just because I think the dude has been getting peppered with targets, has continued to get targets with Devontae Adams still producing, right? So I feel a little more confident in Garrett Wilson, but that being said, Devontae Smith is also a Commander's kind of kryptonite. So I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them. Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, or Jerome Ford. It's not forward, it's Ford. That one's interesting. Cleveland, Jerome Ford. I'm just so worried that Cleveland's offense is just going to be a shell of themselves that I'm not a fan of it. Then it's between Breece and Tony Pollard. I'll probably say Breece. Just because that offense, the Jets offense, is the one that I trust the most. I'll say Breece on that one. Baseball Shorts, good to see you again, buddy. Semifinal game at the running back 2, Tyjae Spears, Kendrick Miller, Craig Reynolds, or Brian Robinson. I think it's between Kendrick and Brian Robinson. I'll probably say Brian Robinson, just because I think Brian Robinson being on the Commander, it's between Kendrick and Brian Robinson. And I think I'm going to trust Washington's offense a little more than the Saints going to Lambeau. Jackson on YouTube. That's JSN. So I say this with a heart full of skull today. Sports prodigies, Jalen McMillan or Tyrone Tracy in the flex. I think the play there is Tyrone Tracy. Jalen McMillan, I think Tyrone Tracy. Yeah, Jalen McMillan, over the last 2 weeks, he's scored, which that's my thing, is if he doesn't score, he's not going to be very valuable in your lineup. Then he's not going to do a whole lot in your lineup, versus Tyrone Tracy should be getting touches still. I lean Tyrone over McMillan. Jackson on YouTube, do I start more Shakir or Ridley in half PPR? I'm assuming between DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir, and Calvin Ridley. Probably going to say Khalil Shakir. DJ Moore. You know what? No. We're going to go DJ Moore. I think Shakir, having found the end zone, does give him some upside. I just know that DJ Moore is going to get touches. That's what I know. So I'm gonna roll with that. Jared on YouTube, Cade Otton or Zach Ertz in full PPR. Well, Cade Otton is out, so I think your only option is Zach Ertz, and it sounds like he was trending towards playing. But I also would say look at waivers between those two. Like if there is a Brenton Strange, if there's a Hunter Henry, if there is, oh man, I mean, it didn't help that we've had 3 games before today. So your options are probably going to be a little limited. But like if there's a Hunter Henry or Brenton Strange or Tucker Kraft, maybe even, I would feel better about one of those guys. Deckers, Brenton Strange or Jake Ferguson, Devontae Smith or Kendrick Miller. Devontae Smith over Kendrick Miller for sure. And then I think at your tight end spot, I'm going to chase the volume here. I'm going to go Brenton Strange. I know it sounds crazy to say, like, I like Mac Jones over Cooper Rush. That Cowboys offense is not what it should be. And that Jacksonville offense has been a little bit better than I expected it to be with Mac Jones. Not saying that it needs to be broken down like that, but I think I just have a little more confidence in Brenton Strange after the volume that he's been getting, that he got last week. Gatorade Cup Series, can I trust AJ Brown this week after last week's injury? I think you should still. I don't think he's going to be limited in any kind of way. If he was going to be limited, I think we would have heard more about it. Yeah, I think we would have heard more about it. Jackson, do I start Aaron Jones or Kendrick Miller? Aaron Jones for sure. Jaxical on YouTube, PPR league, do I start DJ Moore or Brian Thomas? I'm supposed to lose by 5 because of Mixon. I need some help. You're going to go Brian Thomas Jr. Not only has he been just in fuego over the last couple of weeks with Mac Jones, but DJ Moore doesn't have the same kind of upside that Brian Thomas has. And again, not saying that like everything has to be decided based on projections, right? Just because those are all again, projections of whatever platform that you're on. But I would go Brian Thomas over DJ Moore there. The baseball, this week I would have been playing against Monty, Garendo, and Pickens. He has Njoku playing, but got really lucky. Hey, sometimes you do need a little bit of luck when it comes to the fantasy playoffs. I will say that. Jaxel, thanks, bro. You bet. Anytime. SHD Prods 211. I need help. So Myers and Shakir are my wide receivers. Jaden Reed is on the wire. I also have the backup running back for the Saints. Should I start both my receivers or put in the backup running back and hope that I get Reed in non-PPR? I would still roll Myers and Shakir, to be honest with you. That would be my preference. Rico or Brian Robinson, also Khalil or Judy in the flex. I would go Khalil Shakir over Jared Judy, and then I would go Rico Dowdle over Brian Robinson there. BE, do I start DK Metcalf or AJ Brown? AJ Brown for sure still. Dylan, Brian Thomas Jr. or Terry McLaurin. I'm going to say Brian Thomas Jr. over Terry. Ray over on YouTube, start 2 in standard. Cooper Kupp versus the Jets, Garrett Wilson versus the Rams, or Jacoby Myers versus the Jaguars. And which tight end in standard, Zach Ertz or Hunter Henry? I would go Hunter Henry as your tight end. And then your 2 wide receivers, I'm probably going to go with Garrett Wilson, and I'm probably going to go with Cooper Kupp. Jacoby isn't a bad option, but I think, you need a touchdown. Jacoby Myers, touchdowns are very few and far between. Baseball, again, I'm loaded at receiver. Should I drop either McMillan or Shakir for running back handcuff, and who do I get? If you're going to drop a receiver for a handcuff, it's going to be McMillan. I think you definitely hold on to Shakir at this point, but at the same time, we have to be careful with the handcuff running back pickup, right? Because just because someone is a backup doesn't automatically mean like we need to go pick them up, because teams may not use their backup running back in the same way that they're going to use their starting running back, right? They may bring in another, like think of Vegas, right? We thought that Sincere McCormick was going to take over the backfield. And while he did get majority of carries, Amir Abdullah was still getting receiving work, right? So we have to be careful of which running backs that we're going to pick up as a handcuff, because teams may not give their backup running back the full workload, if that makes sense. I think right now you're fine. I think you can just wait a week. But if you do feel the need, excuse me, if you do feel the need to pick up a running back or a handcuff or somebody like that, you're going to drop McMillan. Core on Twitter. Ayo, I shouldn't. It's X. It's X, actually. It's Twitter. No, it's X. It's Twitter. It's X. Tony Pollard to Juwan Jennings this week. If it's half PPR, I'm going Tony. If it's full, I'm probably going to go with Juwan Jennings. Standard, probably Tony Pollard then. JT pick 2 between Neighbors, Brian Thomas, and Jared Jeudy. Personally, it's going to be Neighbors and Brian Thomas for me. Jeudy with Dorian Thompson-Robinson just is not of that same caliber. Big Fat Sigma, what's going on, my guy? Patrick Taylor or Ramondre Stevenson this week? I am going to lean on Ramondre still this week. I've been struggling with Patrick Taylor all week because he probably will get the majority of touches, but what makes the difference between a Patrick Taylor and an Isaac Guerendo, or a Jordan Mason and a Isaac Guerendo, and right, any of the other running backs San Francisco has utilized, there are aspects to their game that I believe can succeed in that San Francisco offense. I don't have that same feeling about Patrick Taylor. Now, I want him to prove me wrong, right? I want him to prove me wrong, because on the chance that Isaac Guerendo is out next week and Patrick Taylor has a really good game this week, well, Patrick Taylor instantly hits your lineup, right? But I have my doubts and I have my concerns about Patrick Taylor that would push me towards Ramondre Stevenson. So I get the Patrick Taylor questions. Jacob, right? Patrick Taylor or DK this week? We got DK in a good matchup against Minnesota, but in a rainy game against Minnesota. Man, that one's tough. That one is tough, in my opinion. I'm probably going to go Patrick Taylor on that one, just because the floor, I'll say, with DK Metcalf is much lower than Patrick Taylor's, because you know that Patrick Taylor should be getting touches. So maybe this is the best way to say it. I don't hate going Patrick Taylor or DK over Patrick Taylor, but I'm going to go with what I know, if that makes sense. Bryce over on Facebook, Tracy or Taylor? So Tyron Tracy or Patrick Taylor? That one I'm probably going to go Patrick Taylor. Tommy on YouTube, hello. Howdy, sir. Half PPR in the flex, Keenan Allen or Adam Thielen. What a world that we're talking about Keenan Allen and Adam Thielen in 2024 going into 2025. What a world. I'm going to say Adam Thielen on that one. I think Carolina has a chance to, how do I say this? To not be as bad as they were against Dallas. So I would go Thielen over Keenan this week. Dakota on Facebook, I've got a flex problem. Would you start Myers, Marvin, Harrison, McMillan, or Patrick Taylor with the start in San Francisco? Great question. I would go Jacoby Myers. Marv, way too risky for me at this point in the season. McMillan, again, we've been scoring. I don't know if that's going to happen for a third straight week. Patrick Taylor's then the only other one. I just think I think Jacoby Myers is just going to get targets. He's going to get volume, right? And I believe Aiden O'Connell is starting. Let me confirm that, because if it is, because I was going to say, if it's Desmond Ridder, boy, that would be dicey. But with Aiden O'Connell back, I think you definitely would go Myers there. Brian over on Facebook, Kendra Miller or DeAndre Swift. I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift. I think that Detroit defense is not the same defense. They're still pretty good. But I think DeAndre Swift can have some kind of production today. Kendra Miller just flat out. I want to say this carefully, but I want very little to do with this New Orleans offense this week. Nolan Sports on YouTube, pick 3 between CD, Puka, Bucky, and DK. I'm going to say it's the first 3. I would go CD, Puka, and Bucky. DK is the odd man out there. Carlos over on YouTube, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers. We're going to go Kyler Murray. It's going to be hard to Kyler Murray is our quarterback 5 on the week, because the thing is, with his rushing upside, I know we haven't seen it, but he can break it off at any point, right? And against Carolina, he's got the matchup. I know Rodgers has been doing pretty well lately, but I struggle to say with conviction. Yeah, I started Aaron Rodgers over Kyler Murray this week. I would go Kyler. Brian, thank you. Merry Christmas. You are very welcome. Merry Christmas to you as well. Low record on YouTube, Brian Thomas, Drake London, or Devontae Smith in PPR. That's a Brian Thomas Jr. one for me. If you're not convinced, I would then go Drake London. So Brian Thomas, London, and Devontae Smith in PPR. That's how I would rank it. Dylan Terry or T. Higgins this week. Great question. I am going to say T. Higgins. What scares me about T. Higgins over Terry is that it's an AFC North matchup this week between the Bengals and the Browns. So it's a little dicey, but Terry against Philly is, I think Terry has a harder time succeeding than T does against the Browns. Does that make sense? That's how I feel about it. Where was that? Trevor, my guy, want to hear your opinion. Do you think I made the wrong decision sitting McConkey and picking McLaurin and Higgins for my 2 flex options in my other league? I wouldn't say. I think hindsight 2020, after this week, you might be like, oh, that was really stupid. I don't know why I did that. I get why. Because the Chargers offense before Thursday, we're struggling to put up 20 points, right? So Ladd McConkey's upside, because of those performances, dropped off substantially, right? 34 points against Denver and him getting 7 catches. And I see, I don't think it's that big of a deal that you sat McConkey, because I get the logic behind it. What's going to make it sting is if Terry puts a 5, right? So again, I can't say it's the wrong decision, because again, I get what you were thinking, what you were projecting to happen. I get it. So it'll stink if somebody outscores the other, but I get the thought process. Major over on X, Chase Brown or Neighbors in the flex, and full PPR have Jacobs and Gibbs. I would still go Chase Brown, man. I'd still go Chase Brown. You're going to go 3 running backs, and I don't mind that at all. Picked by Baker on YouTube. Pick 2 between Devontae Smith, Jordan Addison, Marvin, and Juwan Jennings. And then pick 1 between Brees and Rico Dowdle. Thanks in advance. You are very welcome. Your 2 receivers, you're going to go Devontae Smith, and you're going to go Juwan Jennings. Your running back, I'm going to say, will be I'm going to say Brees Hall on that one. Tampa has been a lot better against the run the second half of the year. I would definitely go Brees. Savage on YouTube, Brian Thomas, Tyreek, DK, Bucky, start 3. Bucky is a flex for James Conner. So is James Conner in your starting lineup? Because if I would start James Conner as well. So, I think the three other ones, you're going to go Brian Thomas, Tyreek, and Bucky. James Conner should still be in your lineup, though, as well. Bikes and more on YouTube. Good to see you again. Kenneth Walker, the third, or Jonathan Taylor at the flex. I'm probably going to go Kenneth Walker. That Indy offense, I can't get a pulse on it. I would go Kenneth Walker there. Daniel on Facebook, Jacoby, Kendre, or Rachaad White, pick one in the flex and full PPR, Jacoby Myers. Little record, Drake or Terry in PPR. I would say it's Drake London on that one. M. Tucker on YouTube, Walker or Robinson. I'm assuming Kenneth Walker, Brian Robinson. I would go Kenneth Walker on that one. Lou the Seal, Brian Thomas Jr. or Jaden Reed. That's a Brian Thomas Jr. one for sure. Bikes and more, thank you. You are welcome. David, start three receivers. Malik Neighbors, AJ Brown, T. Higgins, Josh Downs, Jawan Jennings, Jalen Waddle. I tune in every week. I know you do. I appreciate that. Your three receivers. I'm for sure going to rule out Jalen Waddle and Josh Downs. I'm pretty sure Waddle's actually out today. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I thought he was doubtful. Yeah. Okay. So Jalen Waddle's not supposed to play. Josh Downs, I'm ruling out as well. So it's between, again, Malik Neighbors, AJ Brown, T. Higgins, and Jawan Jennings. Who I would say one is for sure AJ Brown. I think your other two, to be completely honest with you, are T. Higgins and Jawan Jennings. Those are going to be your three. Malik Neighbors, what made his week so great last week is just because he found the end zone. That's really what it is. M. Tucker, thank you. You are welcome. Nolan Sports, thank you. You are welcome as well. Rick on Facebook, Brian Robinson or Breece Hall. I'm going to go Breece Hall. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, you filthy animal. Love it. See you next week. Hopefully I'm in the ship for both my leagues. Hey, let's go. Let's have a day. Davi, thank you. You're welcome. Matthew on Facebook. Good to see you again, my man. Thank you for last week. Now in the semifinal, another big week. Hey, that's what we like to see. Projections are near even. Need to start two. DJ Moore, Garrett Wilson, Jawan Jennings, London with the Giants. Thank you. Welcome. My leaning here is Drake London and Jawan Jennings. Jawan Jennings is probably the riskiest one here. If you want to play a safer option, I would probably go with DJ Moore then. That being said, Jawan Jennings is really I shouldn't say their whole offense, but like he's all that they have on offense, because Debo, Lord knows what's going on with that dude. Patrick Taylor's your running back. Like Jawan Jennings, man, they're going to need Jennings to step up today. So I would say it's Drake London and it's Jawan Jennings. The given on YouTube, Dobbs or Adunze. Assuming that's Romeo Dobbs. I think you got to go Roma Dunze. I think because you have to take a shot on essentially who's going to find the end zone or who's going to have the biggest play. I think it's Romeo Dobbs. Matthew, thank you. You are welcome, sir. Lou the Seal, start three between Mike Evans, Jawan Jennings, Garrett Wilson, Brian Thomas Jr. You're going to go Brian Thomas Jr., Mike Evans, and Jawan Jennings. Garrett Wilson is the odd man out there. Catch up, Lord. Let's go. Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, or Breece Hall start two. I would say it's Breece Hall and Brian Thomas Jr. Cards and Sports, Kendre Miller, Tony Pollard, or Patrick Taylor. Funny that you asked this question, because I literally asked the fellas before I went live, how do we feel about Alexander Madison, Tony Pollard, and Patrick Taylor? And we all agreed Tony Pollard, Patrick Taylor, then Alexander Madison. I put Kendre Miller in that Alexander Madison tier, right? Guys that are probably going to get the majority of touches in their offense, but just very limited upside. I think you are best to go with Tony Pollard there. Nolan Sports, how do you feel that I traded for Baker and made the championship? Hey, That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You paid the risk and it paid off big time. That's what I'm talking about. Dominic on Facebook, happy holidays, bro. Hey, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Hopefully this can take it to the ship. Jonnu Smith, Brian Robinson, or Amari Cooper in our PPR league. Much appreciated for the advice. Is it crazy that I'm going to say Jonnu Smith? I think it's Jonnu Smith. You have to trust Jonnu Smith. You have to. He had a tough matchup against Houston and he came through. I think you go with Jonnu Smith there. I think you do. CJ on YouTube, David Njoku or Brenton Strange need three then between Ramondre White, Jalen McMillan, Kendra Miller, Josh Downs, and is Jacoby Myers a good start? Woo. Okay, a lot of breakdown here. Between Njoku and Brenton Strange, I'm going Brenton Strange. The three then. Then we'll jump to the end. Is Jacoby Myers a good start? Yes, he is. With Aiden O'Connell, he's a good start. But then between Rashad White, Jalen McMillan, Kendra Miller, and Josh Downs, your three that you're going to go with, I'm probably going to say Josh Downs. I think your other one would be Jalen McMillan. And then between Kendra Miller and Rashad White, I'm going to go Rashad White. I think that's where I'm going to go. The Believer on YouTube, Breece Hall or Tyreek Hill. I think you go Tyreek Hill. I think no Jalen Waddle this week. They're going to need Tyreek this week. So that's definitely where I would go. Dusty on Facebook, sit one, Tony Pollard, Tyrone Tracy, Jerome Ford, and start one between Josh Downs and Romeo Doubs. For your receiver start, I'm going to say it's Josh Downs. And between your running back sits, I'm probably going to sit Tyrone Tracy. That's where I'm leaning. Bikes and More on YouTube, Rodgers or Goff. I'm going to say Goff. I know Rodgers has been red hot. Jared Goff is that offense right now. No other way around it. Nick on Facebook, start two in PPR, Tyreek, DK, Juwan Jennings, and Jonnu Smith. I'm for sure going to rule out DK Metcalf. And I think the two that you're going to go with are Tyreek and Juwan Jennings. I think those are the two that you're going to go with. Nico, start one, Patrick Taylor, Jerome Ford, DJ Moore, or DeAndre Swift. I would say it's DJ Moore. Dusty, that's what I'm talking about. By the way, roll herd. Okay. For all of you NDSU fans, I hope there are some watching right now. Roll herd. That was a great game yesterday. If you guys don't watch FCS ball, well, maybe I should be careful when saying that because I do watch like the cream of the crop when it comes to FCS college ball. So I'll be careful, but roll herd. Dusty, I got you with the advice there. Nolan's again. Do you think I can win if I go against Josh Allen and JJ? I have Puka, Jacobs, and Lamb and Baker. Think you've got a shot. I think we need to not have Josh Allen go for 40. I think that's the first thing. If Josh Allen doesn't go for 40, I think we're in good shape there. Bikes and More. Thanks. Have a great Christmas. Happy New Year's. Yes. Merry Christmas to all of you. Just so you guys know, I am setting up for next week's live wherever I may be. I may be on TikTok and maybe right back here, but you will hear. I'll see you next year. Okay. I'm just going to say it. Mentally prepare yourselves. Joe on Facebook, took Evans over Addison last week. Thanks for the help. Booyah. That's what I'm talking about. Getting the win this week. PPR need a flex between Chuba Hubbard, Jerome Ford, Jordan Addison, Juwan Jennings, also a tight end in Njoku or Hunter Henry. Your tight end is going to be Hunter Henry. And then in your flex, it's between Juwan Jennings and Chuba Hubbard. And it's PPR. I'm probably going to go Juwan Jennings. If it's half PPR, I'm probably going to go Chuba Hubbard, but since it's PPR, it's going to be Juwan Jennings. Nursing over on YouTube, George Kittle or Jonnu, start three between Breece Hall, James Conner, Josh Jacobs, and Devon Achane, and Tony Pollard. Woo. Okay. Your tight end play, I think, is going to be George Kittle. And now I'm just realizing that I completely forgot about George Kittle when I was talking about Juwan Jennings earlier. George Kittle's going to be, go George Kittle over Jonnu. It's close. I think maybe the best way to say it is this: coin flip. Do a coin flip. Neither one of them are gonna are gonna. I don't think you can go wrong. And then between your 3 running backs, I think the 3 that you're gonna go with: Achane, Jacobs, James Conner. I think those are the 3. Yep. So coin flip on your tight end, can't go wrong. Then I would go James Conner, Josh Jacobs, and Devon Achane for your running backs. Joe, thanks. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. See you next week. Hopefully, you should still come back though next week. We should still, even if we lose this week, we should still go for 3rd instead of 4th. Okay, 3rd at least is still like a bronze medal. 4th, you get nothing. That was dumb. You get what I'm saying though. Picks on YouTube for a parlay, choose 2 legs. Would you prefer James Cook 65 rushing yards, McBride touchdown, or Caleb 215 passing yards? I'm probably going to go James Cook and Caleb Williams. I've been getting burned by anytime touchdowns pretty much all year. I don't mind. I guess you can go with McBride. I personally would just take the yards because I know when I do these, I get burned by the anytime touchdown. Nolan, thanks. Have a great Christmas. You too, buddy. You too. Have a great Christmas. Chris on YouTube, Jordan Addison, Jalen McMillan, Juwan Jennings at Breece Hall at the flex. Pick 1, Juwan Jennings. Nick on Facebook, need the Christmas miracle of you helping me make the ship. Hey, boy, that would have been... I was about to say no Christmas miracle needed when you've got me helping you out. That is overly confident. That is, I'm not going to put that on myself. But anyway, need 1 at the flex between Tony Pollard, Jonnu Smith, Tyron Tracy, Jalen McMillan. Need 2 a receiver between Judy, JSN, and Higgins. At your flex, I'm going to say Jonnu Smith. At your flex. But I'm also curious who your tight end is. Like, if you've got Brock Bowers, for sure, right, then Jonnu's going to be at your flex. But if it's Brenton Strange at tight end, I would probably go Jonnu at tight end, and then I would go Tony Pollard at the flex. But and then your 2 receivers are going to be JSN and T. Higgins. Mendel on YouTube, Kendrick Miller or Patrick Taylor. That's a Patrick Taylor one for me. Cameron, I should say, on YouTube. Start 2 between Jameson Williams, Tyrone Tracy, and Brian Thomas Jr. I am going to go with Brian Thomas Jr. for sure. And then Tyrone Tracy going up against Atlanta. I'm probably going to go Jameson Williams. I'll go Jameson Williams on that one. Avery, hi. Hi, buddy. What's going on, my guy? Jason on YouTube, is there anything to London popping up on the injury report? How do I say this? I wouldn't worry too much about it. That's what I'll say. Matthew again on Facebook on another league. Start 2 between Marv, Swift, Ramondre, and Mooney against the Giants. Okay. Honestly, I'm gonna say DeAndre Swift. Probably Ramondre. Let me take a look at my rankings real quick. I think DeAndre Swift is for sure in. I would go Swift and Ramondre. On that one. Alex on Facebook, Tony Pollard or Alexander Madison. I had the same question to one of my buddies earlier. Tony Pollard. Huge face on YouTube, Breece Hall or AJ Brown. AJ Brown there for sure. Nathan on YouTube, start 2 out of Juwan Jennings, Breece, Enrico. I'm going to go with Breece Hall, and I'm going to go Juwan Jennings on that one. Sam on YouTube, Kendrick Miller, Juwan Jennings, Jerry Jeudy, Debo, or Michael Pittman in the flex. Juwan Jennings. Marlo, thanks. Have a great Christmas. Of course, you as well. You have a great Christmas as well. Alex, thanks, bro. You bet. Happy to help. Jennifer, good to see you again. I need 2 for my running back, Kyron Williams, Kenneth Walker, Bucky Irving. Thank you for all your help and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well. Your 2 running backs between Kyron, Kenneth, and Bucky. I'm going to go with I'm going to say Kyron Williams. I'm going to go Bucky Irving. That Minnesota matchup just pushes Kenneth Walker just slightly behind Bucky Irving. Picks Hawkinson or Strange for a parlay. Yeah, the yards are the 2 legs there. Hawkinson or Strange. I'm going to go Brenton Strange. Ezra on YouTube, Alexander Madison or Kendry Miller. That one, Oh, no. See, I asked this question earlier. I shouldn't say I asked. I was gathering opinions because I knew this question was going to hit at some point today. And I needed some processing help there. I think the play is Kendry. I'm not feeling great about both of them, but I think it's Kendry there. Yes, that's Hawkinson or Strange. That's Strange, and then your 2 legs, $1,000 league. Well, I think we're gonna have to help you out here. Semifinals in full PPR and start 2 running backs. Ken Walker, Jerome Ford, Bijan, or Ramondre. Your 2 running backs are going to be Kenneth Walker and Bijan. Oh, boy. Sorry. I didn't see Bucky there. You're going to go Bijan and Bucky. Your 2 receivers between Tyreek, Cooper, McMillan, and Adunze. You're going to go Tyreek and Cooper Kupp. Tight end. You're going to go with TJ Hawkinson. Then you need 1 other running back or receiver at the flex. Perfect. Kenneth Walker is your flex then. Technically, let me order this for you. Your 2 starting running backs are being Kenneth Walker and Bijan. Your 2 receivers, Tyreek and Cooper Kupp, and your flex is Bucky Irving, since Bucky Irving plays on Sunday Night Football. So if something were to happen, you can swap him out then for somebody. Ezra on YouTube, Baker or Jaden Daniels. I was thinking Baker because of the matchups. I would agree with you. I think it's Baker just slightly. Nico on YouTube, Myers, Judy, or DK. That's a Jacoby Myers one for me. Dane on Facebook, Garrett Wilson or Romeo Dobbs. Garrett Wilson. Cup edits on YouTube. Good to see you again. Pick 2 between Ramondre White, Tyrone Tracy, Travis Etienne. I think we're going to have to go with Travis Etienne and Rashad White. Philly, good to see you again, my guy. Good morning. Need 2 between Jerry Jeudy, Brian Thomas, Marv, and DK. Brian Thomas Jr. is for sure going to be in. Then between Marv, DK, and Jerry Jeudy. Boy. I'm probably going to say DK Metcalf. I don't feel great about it. I don't feel great about it, but I think DK is the play there. I think you got to go with DK. Eric on Facebook, Juwan Jennings or Jameson Williams. We're going to go with Juwan Jennings on that one. Matthew and lastly, start 1 between DK, Stevenson, and Mooney. For me, that is Ramondre Stevenson. Again, there's some interest to DK for a lot of people. No, I can't. Can you? I'm going to go Ramondre on that one. Nick, thank you and Merry Christmas. Hope you get all that you want under the tree. Hey, appreciate that. Some of us are, we've got a list that's a little too long, but I appreciate that. Appreciate it. Little record, DJ, Rico, Thielen, or Pollard, and PPR point per first down. So you get, oh boy. Okay. Okay. Well, I think, Since it's PPR, I'm leaning. It's between DJ Moore and Adam Thielen. And for first downs, I'm probably going to go with DJ Moore. I'm probably going to go DJ Moore on that one. Yeah, I'm probably going to go with DJ Moore. Cup edits. How good do you think Patrick Taylor is going to do for the Niners? Your guess is as good as mine. So the thing is, like, Patrick Taylor has been very limited in his game action throughout his entire career. And what I've seen in those moments, meh. So I have no idea. Baseball shorts. Who do you think the best running back handcuff is? Probably Zach Charbonnet. Because now that Kenneth Walker is back, Zach Charbonnet is going to be very limited in the game plan. I think I'm just going to go down the list. I mean, you could make an argument that like David Montgomery is a handcuff in some weird way, or like Jahmyr Gibbs is a handcuff, right? Just because both of them are starting. Let me start that over. I'm going to leave the Detroit running backs out of it because you can play both of them week in, week out. When I think handcuff, I think a guy that's in limited status with the starter healthy. And then when the starter gets hurt, they take on the full workload, right? So Tyler Algier would be interesting as well. Josh Jacobs in Green Bay, not really. Chase Brown, no one in Cincinnati behind him. Devon Achane, no. James Conner, no. Derrick Henry, no. Kyron, maybe Blake Corum, but I think I would still want Charbonnet as a handcuff over Blake Corum. Chuba Hubbard, no. Buffalo, no. I think the handcuff there, Cam Akers is up there too for me, but I think Zach Charbonnet is probably the best running back handcuff out there. Jake Bobo, hey, you got a game later today. Jared Goff or Michael Penix, you're going to go with Jared Goff. JT, pick two between Tyrone Tracy, Kendre Miller, Jonathan Taylor. Between those two, you're going to go Jonathan Taylor. You're going to go with Kendre Miller. Yep. Pick three then between T. Higgins, Malik Neighbors, Jerry Jeudy, BTJ, and Patrick Taylor. Oh my, okay. Pick three then. You're going to T. Higgins, you're going to go Malik Neighbors, you're going to go Brian Thomas Jr. Pick one between T. Higgins and Devontae Adams. I think you go Devontae Adams. Pick one between Bucky Irving and Aaron Jones. I think you go Bucky Irving. And then pick one between Jordan Love and Kyler Murray. You're going to go Kyler Murray. Hope you got all that. Cup edits, Bowers or McBride. How do I say this? Cup edits, heads or tails? Heads or tails? Let me know what you choose. Miguel on YouTube, Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf, or Calvin Ridley in full PPR. Probably Calvin Ridley. Eesh. Adam on Facebook struggling here. Pick one, between Rico Dowdle, Keenan Allen, Debo, and Jalen McMillan. I think you go Rico Dowdle. I think you got to go Rico Dowdle there. Mario on Facebook, Chuba Hubbard or James Cook. Give me coin flip, honestly. I get going Chuba Hubbard just because he's probably the one. He's the one that doesn't have. You know what you're getting with Chuba Hubbard. I think that's the best way to say it. Atif on YouTube, half PPR between Baker Mayfield and Joe Burrow. I would say it's Joe Burrow on that one. Dino on Facebook, JSN or Chase Brown. More times than not, I would go Chase Brown, but because of weather, and I just think because Chase Brown has just been insanely good, you go Chase Brown. Nico again on YouTube, Jacoby Myers or Calvin Ridley. That's a Jacoby Myers one for me. Again, with Aiden O'Connell playing. That was pretty straightforward for me. Eli on YouTube, start one. Aaron Jones, Jerry Jeudy, and Tyreek Hill in PPR. That's a Tyreek Hill one. That's Tyreek Hill. NTT, how do you feel about Drake London? Great question, because we talked about this on our podcast, which, by the way, if you're not subscribed to, hey, head over to our podcast page. We talked about this exact question because Michael Penix, now the starter, it wasn't great already with Kirk Cousins, but Drake London was still kind of like fringe top 15. I think if anything about Drake London now with Michael Penix, the floor is just a little bit lower now, just because we don't know what we're going to get with Michael Penix, right? Everyone talks about Michael Penix kind of stepping in immediately, like hitting the ground running. That's not, we need to be careful on that, right? I'm just going to say, don't get expectations too high. Drake London is still in that like 15 to 20 range for me of receivers. He's still very good. I think he's still playing in your lineups, but just know that there is a little more downside this week. Michael, what's going on, my guy? Good to see you. Anthony Richardson or Sam Darnold this week? I think you've got to. Golly, that one's tough. Just because I know what the weather is like in Seattle. I think you still go Sam Darnold. I think you got to go Sam Darnold still. I know Anthony Richardson has some kind of decent upside this week with Tennessee, but gosh, it's not been good. It has not been good with Anthony Richardson. Yes, he's been rushing, which helps, but the passing production is so bad that it doesn't make up for it. It doesn't, push me to say start Richardson over Sam Darnold. Philly got it. Thanks, my guy. You bet. Hope I can get to the ship after this week. Appreciate you guys. Let's get to the ship. We're getting to the ship this week. That's what I'm going to say. Drew, hey, quick question. Which 3 should I start in PPR league? 1 flex. Brian Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Breece Hall, Bucky Irving, or Jonathan Taylor. Which 3 should I start 1 flex league? Well, I think you go Jahmyr Gibbs, you go Bucky Irving, and you go Breece Hall. Those are the 3. Matthew, what's going on with DK? Yeah, he's in none of your picks. You would be correct. Just because DK at this point in the season, the floor is too low. The floor is too low, right? Where he's been doing it the past 3-4 weeks. Now you add in the weather in Seattle. I am just not. I'm not feeling great about DK being this week that it turns around. He's got a great matchup against Minnesota. There's just more going on than just a good matchup for DK. That's really what it comes down to. Cup edits. I'm going McBride. He's projecting more. Also, Bowers is averaging like 10 the last 4 weeks, and McBride's averaging 20. Makes sense. It makes sense. Also, Kyron or James Cook. I would go with Kyron Williams. Justin Gino or Michael Penix. I'm going to say Michael Penix. Just shoot for upside. At that point, just shoot for it. Just take in take in the Michael Penix experience. And if he gets you over the hump, yeah. Nick on Facebook, kicker question. Let's go. But we get a lot of points for kickers. Tyler Bass, Brandon McManus, or Zane Gonzalez. I think your play is going to. I think it's Brandon McManus. Josh on Facebook have Cooper Kupp, DK, and Marv pick 2. Thielen, McMillan, and Watson are free to pick up. If you have to drop one of those receivers, there's got to be someone else on your team that you can drop. But if you have to pick 2, I'm probably going to say Thielen and Cooper Kupp. I feel like Will Compton all of a sudden. Dumb joke. But I would say it's Cooper Kupp and Adam Thielen. Ed on YouTube, should I start Judy or Debo or Jaden Reed? Golly, I think you got to do Jerry Judy. Ugh, man. Cup, thanks for all your help. Of course, happy to help. JT, Shakir, or Jacoby Myers. That's Jacoby Myers 1. Cheesesteak, dude. What's going on? Start 2.5 PPR. Jerome 4. Rico Dowdle or Terry McLaurin. Think you do Rico Dowdle for sure. I probably got to go with Terry still. Sports edits. Brian Thomas Jr., DJ Moore, or Jalen McMillan. Pick 2. I think it's the first 2. I think it's Brian Thomas and it's DJ Moore. Judy, oh man, I gotta pray. I know, but that's the thing though, is that like between where were the other 2? I had it Debo and Jaden Reed. I don't mind if you go Jaden Reed, but let me start this over. If you think Jaden Reed scores this week, play Jaden Reed. But if you don't think that Jaden Reed scores, play Jerry Jeudy. Thanks for, yep, of course. Cheesesteak, thanks, man. You're welcome. Very welcome. Tyler, great name. Best name out there. You are my favorite. Sam Laporta or Hunter Henry. I feel like Henry gets a load of targets, but if they trade the game by 20 all game, also Jennings or Myers. Receiver, you're going to go with Jawan over Jacoby. Hunter Henry, I think, is a good shout, but I just think Detroit needs offense to win the rest of their games the rest of the year. So I would say it's Sam Laporta still. Your thought process there, though, W name, that's what I'm talking about. Your thought process for Hunter Henry is not wrong, but I think, again, because Detroit needs their offense to win games, I'm going to take the chance with Laporta then. Ed, again, last one between McDaniels or Baker. You're going to go with Baker on that one. Isaac on YouTube, morning, brother. I don't know who to start at the flex between Bucky or JSN. Interesting one. Very, very interesting. I think you go JSN. It's close, but I think you go JSN. Ice cold OG Jones. What's up, my guy? Bucky or DK. That's a Bucky Irving one for me. Tyler, thank you. I agree. So we'll stick with the gut. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. JT, Bucky, or Cooper Kupp this week. Thank you. I'm going to go Bucky Irving. Landon, Chuba Hubbard, or Aaron Jones. I think that's a Chuba Hubbard one. Josh, a defensive question. Colts, Green Bay, or Arizona? Green Bay. That is a Green Bay. Let's see. Top 5, Rashad, Tracy, or Patrick Taylor at the flex. I think that one. It's between Rashad White and Patrick Taylor, and I think you should go Rashad White. AJ, Rico Dowdle, or Jerome Ford. We're going to go Rico Dowdle there. Sports and outdoors with Jace, Brian Robinson, or Patrick Taylor. That's still a Brian Robinson one for me. Sports and happy holidays. Thanks for the help here every Sunday. I know you are. Appreciate you stopping by every week. Appreciate it, man. Of course, happy to help you out as well. All right, we've got about... We've got about 5 more minutes. So ask away, right? 5 more minutes. I'm going to give you some time then to make the changes into your lineups, get ready for kickoff. So ask away, rapid fire. What does Scott Hansen say? It's the witching hour. This is our witching hour here. Jacob on YouTube, Stranger, Zach Ertz, and PPR. That's a Brenton Strange one. I go Brenton Strange. AJ, Tracy, or Dowdle. Yep, Rico Dowdle there. Jay on YouTube, Tyreek or Marv in full PPR. Tyreek Hill for sure. Elwood, need 2 in full PPR. Patrick Taylor, Jerome Ford, Tyron Tracy, Rashad White. I think the 2 that you're going to go with are Jerome Ford and Rashad White. Sports and outdoors again. Pick 4, Chuba Hubbard, Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson, Patrick Taylor, and Bucky Irving. All of them except Patrick Taylor. So Chuba Hubbard, Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson, and Bucky Irving. AJ, happy to help. You are very, very welcome. OG again, Neighbors, Judy, or DK. That one's a Malik Neighbors one for me. Zach's Adventures, Ramondre or Kenneth Walker. That's a Kenneth Walker one for me. Jacob, ETN or Ramondre. That one, I'm probably going to lean Ramondre still. Not a huge fan of it, but I think Ramondre doesn't have the threat of Tank Bigsby. You get what I mean? Captain Joe King. Would you play Jacoby over Terry due to the horrible matchup? That's a very interesting question. I think you still have to go Terry just because the upside is still there, right? I get the thought process, but the other thing is too, like if you think about this, Aiden O'Connell or Jaden Daniels, regardless of matchup, I'm going to trust Jaden Daniels more than Aiden O'Connell. So I get the thought process. It's a valid question, but I think you still got to go Terry there. Joe on Facebook, David and Joker or Sam Laporta. That's a Sam Laporta one for me. Nate on YouTube, is Saquon a safe start or will he not get as much playing time again? Saquon's still a safe start. I think, I don't know if there's an exact, I don't think I can exactly pinpoint why we got more Kenneth Walker last week. Maybe, I think it was, I don't want to chalk it up to the entire second half and the fact that Philly just ran down the clock. But I feel like they were preserving Saquon a little bit. I feel preserving is the wrong word. I would not doubt Saquon. I think that's all that I really need to say. I'm not going to doubt Saquon again. Sports and outdoors, Laporta or Kittle? George Kittle there. Croton, star 3, James Conner, Chuba Hubbard, Chase Brown or Jonathan Taylor. You're going to go James Conner, you're going to go Chuba Hubbard, and you're going to go Chase Brown. Yes, sir. Chai over on YouTube. Sorry for that. That's my chair. Tyreek or Thielen in PPR. You're going to go with Tyreek Hill. Oh, we got a keeper question. Nick, bringing the questions today. I like it. Keep 2 between Bowers, Bucky, Tracy, James Cook, and Marv. You got to keep Brock Bowers. And then it's between James Cook and Bucky Irving. I'm probably going to keep James Cook just because there is a risk with Bucky Irving that if Liam Cohen leaves, that offense changes. Something could have happened with Bucky Irving. I'd probably keep James Cook over Bucky. So Bowers and James Cook are the 2 to keep. 31 heads, Vikings or Bengals defense. Probably the Vikings defense. Tylen on Facebook, Jameson Williams, Jaden Reed, or Kendre. I think you go Kendre, but if you think that Jaden Reed scores, you should play Jaden Reed then. Chai, choose 2. Breece Hall, Kendre Miller, Patrick Taylor. Breece Hall for sure, and I'm probably going to say Kendre Miller. Dylan on YouTube, full PPR. Walker or Pollard, Coker, Jalen Coker, or Romeo Dobbs. Running back, I think, is Kenneth Walker. Coker or Dobbs, though? Boy. Probably Romeo Dobbs. No. Go Jalen Coker. Go Jalen Coker on that one. Thomas to go, full PPR, JSN or Aaron Jones. Go JSN over Aaron Jones. Don't start Gainwell over Barkley. Never. Never. No. Saquon Barkley is a set it and forget it piece in your lineup. Do not take him out unless he gets hurt. But if he's healthy, keep him in. Have PPR pick 2 flex and 2 running backs: Devontae Smith, Adam Thielen, Ken Walker, Rondre Stevenson, Jerome Ford, Drake London. 2 flexes. Well, actually, 2. Let's start with this. 2 running backs. You're going to Boy, let me start that over. Your 2 running backs, Ken Walker, Ramondre Stevenson. Your 2 flexes, Devontae Smith, Drake London. All right, last one here. We'll do 2 more. Jackson, Cooper Kupp, or Darnell Mooney. You're going to go Cooper Kupp. JV, 1 more. Njoku or Kincaid or Tucker Kraft in full PPR. You're probably... I think you go Tucker Kraft. Just on the chance that he scores. All right, let's do one last one. Let me see if there's one that I haven't answered yet. Sports. There we go. Laporta or Kittle. I'm going to go Kittle there. Jonathan, Njoku or Jameson Williams in the flex. That's going to be Jameson Williams for me. JV, thank you. You are very welcome. All right, y'all. I'm going to turn you loose. Go make those changes in your lineups. Best of luck in week 16. If you are not following or subscribed or wherever you are watching me from right now, make sure that you are following us and that you are subscribed. We are not done once the season's done. We do dynasty content. There's going to be a lot of NFL draft stuff that we do as well, right? We're going to give you full rookie breakdowns as well to get ready for your dynasty rookie drafts, all that stuff. And then before you know it, we're right into OTAs and training camps and all those different kinds of things. So greatly appreciate all your support. If you're not following, make sure that you are. Have those notifications turned on too, so you get notified whenever we post. But again, greatly appreciate all of you tuning in and for all of your support throughout this year as well. Matthew, thank you. Have a good day. Have a good day to you as well, sir. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all of you. We will see you next week. We will be seeing you on our podcast, shorts content, all that stuff. We will be seeing you soon. So stay safe, stay healthy. Best of luck in week 16. Deuces.